Hi, I'm Ulysses,
And I'm Henry.
and this is Comics Odyssey. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, we're going to do Tintin in Tibet. But before we start, I just have a few things I wanted to mention. First, Henry's graphic novel, Threat Quotient, is, as of now, when this podcast is published, is live, the campaign. So there will be
Woohoo!
links below for you to go support that. I'm going to give what I think I would elevator pitch this, and you tell me if it's accurate. I would say representatives from different generations. So sorry, let me start over. What would happen if you took a guy from Generation X, a boomer, a millennial, and so forth, and you put them all in the same time and gave them all superpowers? Is that is that fair? Is that pretty good?
Oh, yeah, that's a good elevator pitch. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of I'm the more that I'm watching trailers and the more the characters are coming out, the more I'm interested in this book. I'm hyped.
That means my trailers
Oh,
are
and I'll
working. Yay!
I'll post a trailer down below too, so you guys should check that out. We are above 1,000 subscribers on YouTube now, but I've actually stopped paying attention to it because Substack auto uploads all the videos to YouTube. So I'm not checking comments and stuff. But one thing I noticed is that on YouTube, I have more subscribers, but less views and less engagement. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the fun is happening on Substack. So comicsodyssey.substack.com. People are chatting it up. There's a chat feature where people can discuss different topics, and people are going back and forth in the comments. It's been really fun. So that's the place to be. If you're on YouTube, come over to Substack. That's where the cool kids are.
And I would add that there's material at Comics Odyssey on Substack that you're not going to find on YouTube. So it's
Exactly.
definitely worth coming.
Well, there's I post like I post you if you're on YouTube, you're only getting like about 30% of all the materials that Comics Odyssey's creating. Plus, there's a whole bunch of interesting people on Substack related to comics that you should check out. So, Substack's where it is. comicsodyssey.substack.com. You can take out a paid Substack subscription for $2.50 a month. It's permanently discount at $2.50 a month, and you get about one video and one article per month. That's only for paid subscribers, and then there's all of these podcasts are double length with extra topics discussed exclusively for paid subscribers. So $2.50 a month, you're getting tons of content. You're getting one podcast a week extra, plus an extra video, an extra article, just about every month. So you should consider taking one of those out. And I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to mention the Substack subscribers by name because I appreciate their support. RSC Arts, he is also a creative on Substack. Thomas J. McLean, a new Substack subscriber. Thank you for your support. DK Perlmutter, a fellow Canadian out of Winnipeg, I believe. Go Jets. Tester Fivus. And we got Colton D. I hope Colton's listening to this. He's been a loyal reader of Spirit Girl, but I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope everything's good with Colton. I don't want to like be emailing him like or stuff like just and then Andrew G. Thanks for your support. I think that's it. let's get at it with Tintin au Tibet. You ready to practice your French, Henri?
Well, I was wondering how you pronounce the artist's name. It looks like Hergé or something to me,
Yeah,
but how would you
that's
pronounce it
interesting.
correctly?
It's it's Hergé, and what's interesting
Hergé.
about his name, I'm gonna be super excited about this. So I'll probably like ramble on. So feel free to give me a hint if I'm going on and on because I'm. This is a treat for me. But yeah, it's Hergé, and the name. It's not his real name. It's like kind of phonetic version of what his initials sound like. R and G in French, it sounds like Hergé.
Oh, huh.
Hergé. Hergé, yeah. I learned that the first write up I did on this guy. I learned that. And I got this out of the library. I might actually have to buy it because my wife spilled water on it.
Uh-oh.
But I definitely want to get like a box set of all of the Tintin albums. But this one is one I remember from being a kid and spending afternoons reading over and over and over. Tintin in Tibet. So this will be fun. This was your first encounter with Tintin?
No, it's not. I picked it up. I don't know if there was a book in the school library. That's probably what it was. But I had encountered him as a kid, and I think I only read one of his adventures then, but it grabbed me. I thought it was really enjoyable. It's a good adventure story, and I did look for him later because once in a while I get in a mood for something that's kind of whimsical and carefree. And I read part of another story as an adult, and I always liked. And I think there's a Spielberg animated movie of him now. But so I'm
Yeah.
familiar with. I know who it is and basically what it is, but I don't know much about it beyond that.
Well, none of the adaptation to me can beat the original cartoons they used to air on French TV when I was a kid,
Hmm.
which are basically one-to-one adaptations in the same style and everything. They're just, and they even did one of these. Like I remember this, not this story. I forget which one it is. It might be Tintin in America. It's like this train scene that just is seared into my memory.
Uh huh.
I remember being glued to the TV whenever the Tintin cartoon would come on.
In Tintin in America, did he like meet cowboys and stuff and see a cattle drive or something like that?
Yeah, and Indians.
Okay.
It was a big cowboys and Indians kind of a thing.
And that might be the one I remember from the school library.
Yeah. The concept of this story is pretty simple. Starts off like Tintin just got back from some mountain hiking, and Captain Haddock, which to me seems like British coded.
Really?
We might get into that at some point. Yeah, that's the impression I get. And then Captain Haddock is discussing how he's not much for mountain climbing, but which is some foreshadowing because he's going to have to do a lot. And while playing chess, the captain is like overthinking his move, and Tintin falls asleep, and then he wakes up and yells this Chang, and this spread here is quite amazing.
Yeah, the detail in that scene right there, very
It's
nicely
crazy.
done.
And there's like some cameos of recurring characters. This Professor Professor Tournesol, it would be Professor Sunflower, I guess.
Oh, right, the Pennywise Pound Foolish guy.
Yeah, he's a scientist,
Yeah.
and this is a cool. This is a cool cafe. Um, People are smoking and smoking cigars and making art and playing cards and chess and stuff.
Yeah.
There's Monstera there in the corner. Beautiful plant. I had a big, huge Monstera that I sold. This is a cafe I'd like to hang out at.
You know what? At one point, I wanted to open a used bookstore that had like a cafe or a bistro in it and like have this kind of stuff going on in there.
Yeah,
But
that would be awesome.
yeah, that was before I realized that, you know, books are not profitable anymore.
Yeah, I think maybe like club membership fees, so you get to smoke in there or whatever. That maybe that would be the way to go.
Yeah. Not that
Anyway,
many people smoke anymore, though.
yeah, Captain Haddock smokes a pipe though.
Which I'm a non-smoker, so I'm happy about it. But it's just something I noticed culturally.
Turns out the Chang thing wasn't the whole bit. It's like everybody thinks he sneezed,
Right.
and he terrified everybody. And check their reaction here. Not everybody's glaring at him. There's a lot of little bits like that.
Yeah.
Turns out Chang is a guy that Tintin made friends with in a previous volume, and
And he's having a
he had a
nightmare that
dream
Chang is
about
in
him.
trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he got a letter from Chang saying, "I'm coming by plane," and he's all excited. Um, so in French, you pronounce it Chang, and the whole bit with this guy is that he's hard of hearing and he misunderstands everything, and he thinks Tintin's talking about champagne,
Yeah.
and so he thinks Tintin is drunk here.
Is that what it is? He's like deaf, and that's
Yeah,
why he's like
yeah, he never
talking over,
understands.
around, and through what everyone else is saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's always misunderstanding everything. That's the whole bit. But they see the paper, and turns out the plane that Chang was supposed to arrive in um, was in a terrible accident in the mountains of Nepal, which would be the Himalayas, right?
Believe so. Yeah.
Anyway, the bit continues with the Chang.
Yeah. I was gonna say they bring that one back.
Yeah, a lot of callbacks. The first bit of the story is they're trying to get to Nepal to climb up the mountains and to where the train wreck is. So they go through India. And a lot of the Tintin books are about travel and the wonder of travel. And yeah, it's like a travel adventure series, basically.
And I think that's what
And
may impress me about it when I ran into it is like exactly like you said, the wonder of adventure when you go to strange and sometimes exotic places. That really drew me in.
this gave me ideas for coloring. Now, this type of coloring I can get behind. I think, I think I might see if coloring Spirit Girl 4 in this style. It's mostly flat coloring.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
but it's the palette. Like he does, it's not completely flat coloring because you have some gradient stuff, you know,
The
here and
blush on his
there.
cheeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And this woman here in the, oh, I think you moved on from that, but some of the locals have, you know,
Yeah.
different coloration on their faces.
Yeah. They're in India here, so the locals are brown. And
Yeah,
a lot of it takes its time. It does a lot of mini adventures on the way to the main adventure. Like, for
right.
instance, Captain Haddock, he's like, oh, this is fruit. What's this? This looks good. Is it good? Fruit? Is it good to eat? Yum, yum. And the kids are like, yep. Turns out it's a ghost pepper or something. And his mouth is burning up. Fire. I got this in French because to me, I'm a Tintin purist. I have to read it in French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's how I experienced that. I've tried it in English. It's just not the same to me, right?
Well, I was wondering if, because another one that I liked, which is also Belgian, I believe, was Asterix.
Yep.
And of course, when I encountered that, I was young. You know, I was a boy, and the humor came through for me. It was. I still found it really funny before I even knew it was translated from a different language. And
Hmm.
I'm wondering if this is if some of the humor is lost in translation in Tintin.
I have to think that it is. There's like, for instance, there's a whole bit, the humor of Captain Haddock.
Yeah.
First of all, I think he's British coded because haddock is not a French word,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's a sailor, which so the British
Right.
naval empire,
Okay.
right? So I think and he's a big drinker,
Right.
which is I feel, and he's not a wine drinker, he's a whiskey drinker.
The hard
With
stuff.
yeah, so that the British would be the French and the Belgians would be more a wine people. So anyway, that's my
But you
that's
said you thought mountain hiking, as they call it, was British coded too. Did I get that right?
no, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No, no, I don't think so.
So you were probably just
But
talking
yeah,
about the captain.
yeah, the captain, yeah. The part of the bit is the captain like cusses a lot, but the cusses are all like extremely creative and colorful,
Yeah.
and the
Thundering
words
typhoons.
yeah, exactly. But in French, the way that he speaks, the word he chooses, the words themselves are kind of funny sounding
Uh huh.
a lot. So I would imagine that maybe is difficult to translate.
Blue blistering barnacles.
Mm.
Confound this thing in my eye.
This it's just I looked at this brickwork for like 5 minutes. It's so
See,
good.
now this is I wanted to bring this up anyway because when I've read people writing about Tintin, they will sometimes mention how realistic and detailed the backgrounds are. Backgrounds
Hmm.
that you would not expect to see in a funny comic strip. Even
Hmm.
though the characters are like Captain Haddock, especially, he's like a caricature, and well, Tintin also. He's the cartoonish nose, the eyes that are just basically dots,
Yeah.
all that. But yet that contrast, well, I don't even want to say contrast with the background because to me it fits. It seems right. I don't have any problem with it.
Hmm. Well, Scott McCloud in Understanding Comics has a theory about this. He calls it masking. I don't know why he calls it masking, but the idea is that just a circle with two dots, just a few lines, that's a face, but it's not a specific face,
Right.
right? It's the symbol of a face. So it could so it's this the reaction to it is like, this might as well be my face, because your your picture of your face in your mind isn't, you don't know what every wrinkle and everything is because you're looking at other people's faces, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Most of the time. So the picture of your face is more or less, the eyes are here, the nose is there, the mouth is there, right? You know where it is, which is closer to that kind of thing. Circle and two dots in a line. But the backgrounds being super detailed, those are specific. So you're identifying with the character who is in this very lush, detailed environment. So it's more immersive, is the theory.
Well, and that may be one of the aspects of it that really grabbed me so hard as a boy when I read it. I put
This
myself
sequence here
into
is so good.
the place of Tintin.
This is such a good sequence here. Of panels.
Oh, the one with yeah, I know, yeah.
So good. It's like Captain Haddock is like, oh, I'm ahead of the pack. I'm leading the pack. Ha ha ha. But like the background, they're obviously moving across. They're making. They're moving across time and space.
Right.
The characters are
his-
more or less in the same position, but the captain moves further back to show that he's, getting tired and he can't lead the pack anymore.
And his posture also tells that story. He gets
Yes.
Hunched over as he goes, and the whatever there was supposed to be teardrops or something, or sweat drops like exploding
Yes.
off his head.
Yeah. The body language. But then, see, he has he drinks down a flagon of whiskey, and oh, that gives him a pep in his step.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but not
I would
for long.
agree that part is British coded. Not that I know that many
Yeah.
British people.
He has a weird hallucination here because he drank too much whiskey, but it's
Right.
not really related. It doesn't move the plot along, but it's like a mini incident in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Again, here, not moving the plot along, other than they're getting further into the mountains, but it's just a little thing where the captain makes it across and he's like, haha, I made it across, didn't even get wet. And then they're like, no, it's not this bridge, it's the next
It's the
bridge.
wrong bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. And another like mini adventure here, side adventure, where the dog starts drinking the whiskey that from the
Yeah.
bottle that broke. And he gets drunk. But man, those rocks, the way that he draws those rocks is so good. Look at that.
I like it. Yeah.
There's so much like sense of depth and space. It's like the characters are there. They're there,
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much discipline in this drawing that the consistency throughout is. The line weight is never. He just doesn't mess anything up. You've
I
heard
think-
of the artist Mobius?
I've seen that name.
Yeah, I feel like Mobius is like heavily influenced by this guy.
What did Mobius do?
He did the. Well, what did he do? I don't know a lot. He did some work in heavy metal. I don't have a lot of Mobius. I don't think
okay.
I have any Mobius. Yeah.
I've probably seen his stuff though, because back in the day I would read heavy metal.
What did he do with Alejandro Jodorowsky? The Meta Barons, I think it was called. I read that.
I was going to ask
I
you
mean,
what you think of these word balloons and the lettering as well.
yeah, it's funny you say that because I know we've had the conversation about. I tend more towards the beast bearing on the dialogue and the word balloons,
Uh huh.
but Hergé isn't really at all. Like, that's a lot of
Yeah, he's
word
got some
balloons.
that are jam packed.
Oh yeah. Um, it gets a little much here and there. Um, I will say because of the fond memories I have of reading this in the original language. Uh, Also, the lettering and the balloons themselves look nice.
Okay.
That's like that's good, right? And very consistent with a hand, like a hand drawn feel. The lettering itself is nice to look at. It's got a script, you know.
Uh huh.
What do they call that? Is it script writing?
I'm not sure what the name of it is.
So, but yeah, like so. This to me is like good. It's correct. This gets a little much, but there's a lot of info dumping to get the story going.
Uh huh.
Right. So, and there's also the establishing their relationships. They go back and forth in
Uh
the
huh.
dialogue, right? So, but visually, I mean, to me, this is right. How about you?
Well, a few things jump out to me in it, and it's not because I'm casting judgment on it. It just strikes me as so unusual. So first of all, he's using mixed case, whereas usually it's all uppercase. And then
Yes,
it's
that's a more American thing.
yeah, I guess so. And it's left justified rather than center
Hmm.
justified.
Hmm.
And the fancy, I don't know what you call it, scalloping on the corner of the word balloons. They're
Yeah.
basically rectangles, but he puts a fancy little flourish there in the corners. And
Hmm.
in quite a few of them, there's like wasted space in them. Like the balloons don't need to be as big as they are for the dialogue that's in them. Maybe that's because of the translation and it took more in French or something. I'm not
Right.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it strikes me as unusual, and I'm not. I
Hmm.
have run into people who will complain about the lettering or the balloons and stuff, and I'm not one of those people. But it does jump out to me as something I'm not used to seeing, because
Hmm.
mostly American comics is what I've read.
Yeah. So the uppercase lettering is more expedient because they used to letter with the Ames lettering guide,
Okay.
thing that looks like this, and this device here is just basically creates your guidelines.
Oh wow.
So they would draw lines so that they would know to make the letters consistently of the same height. And when you're lettering lowercase, unless you're like a master, which whoever lettered this might have been, you need to do an extra line, an extra guideline to do mixed case, or title case, or
Hmm.
sentence case. Sentence case is called. So there is that. The other thing is printing. So these were printed, I think, not in, they were. I don't think they were ever printed on newsprint, from my understanding.
Oh really? Okay.
Correct correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but so you can have letters with very small bowls like these A's, and have them still print right. Whereas, like, if they're printing on lower quality paper and ink, like the bowl of the E might just fill out, instead of being an empty
Right.
space, right?
Okay.
Of a
Yeah.
lowercase e, right? So, there's that. The other point in favor of the rectangular word balloon is it works because he never messes around with the shape of panels. They're always square or rectangular, which fits properly, which fits well with the shape, right? So it
Yeah.
tucks nicely into the edges, right?
Well, he definitely tucks the caption boxes into the edges,
Here, yeah.
and sometimes he puts two word balloons like smack together or slightly overlapping each other.
Like here, yeah. Which I think is fine. You can,
Yeah.
I find, uh, but with the circular word balloons, like you say, you can center justify, and and you cover the artwork less because there's not those, you're cutting out the corners, right?
Yeah. I'm curious when you illustrate, because you go through and you get your pictures, you get your illustration done before you go in and letter, correct?
Yep.
So when you lay out your panel, do you do you fill in the whole thing and then add the balloons on top of that, or do you
Yep.
leave a space for the balloons to go in and do that later?
Well, I plan for the balloons,
Okay.
so I've the top third of a panel is generally, you leave space for. So this is me thumbnailing my book. You tend to draw to the top, to the bottom third of a panel, right? This is an
Okay.
example here. Right? So I laid out my thumbnails. This is my chicken scratch here. But I'm whatever is the subject of the drawing, I tend to keep it on the top, on the bottom two thirds, to leave real estate for the balloons at the top. But then I draw, like for instance, if it's an outdoor scene, I'll draw the background as appropriate, and I'll put trees and mountains and stuff. And then the word balloons can go over the non-primary subject of the panel, and it still reads legibly the artwork. So if
Yeah.
it's two characters, I'm not covering over the characters, I'm covering over the background. As long as there's enough of the backgrounds legible to know where they are, that's fine.
Okay.
This is another habit of this artist I notice. He never does background shortcuts. Every single panel, the background is drawn. Whereas in the American tradition, there's more of, you draw enough establishing shots
Mm-hmm.
so that some panels can be backgroundless, but you still know where you are because you've
Right.
established. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a deadline thing, right?
What do you mean?
With
Oh,
these,
okay. Yeah, I get it.
yeah. So yeah, it's like I'm gonna skimp on the background here and there because it still reads as, like, the reader will still know where they are in the scene. But these albums, they didn't come out monthly, right?
Yeah.
It was more like a couple times a year, and sometimes it would just come out when they were ready, right?
That's the best way to do it for the artist.
This is my absolute favorite sequence here because at this point I know that it's the next page is my favorite one. So when I get to here, I get so excited to turn the page here, and then I turn the page, and this is so good. Like, we go from a lot, like just the opening up here is so good. And you got the guys in the back, way far in the back. And you see the train wreck. It looks like he's drawn the engine of the plane. Oh, it's so good. And then, oh, it's so good. It's the color change, you know, it just creates an emotional impact.
I
And
was,
just
I'm sure you noticed
in the
this.
storm here, and the way that the snow sticks to the front of him because he's walking against the storm.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, it's so well drawn. It's so good. Look at his little eyebrows getting frosted up.
Interesting. And I'm sure you noticed that when they started getting up into the mountains, that the whole color palette changed to more cool colors. There's a lot more blues
Yeah.
and whites than
Yeah.
whereas before there were
Yes.
several colors.
Well, yeah, when they're down in, you know, and just this little detail here, the cloud coming off the mountain. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Hang on, let me show you something.
Okay.
I straight up pinched those mountains for Spirit Girl 3. So,
Oh, did you?
yeah. It's like, my mountains aren't as good, of course, but I looked at those mountains and I'm like, okay, I'll draw them that way. They're looking for their friend Chang here, and they found evidence of him. He carved his name into a rock. But then Tintin in French, falls down a crevice. They go looking for him, and they go down the crevice, but Tintin shows up outside the crevice. So he found his way out. Here's another sequence that is so masterful.
What's the page number you're on?
I'm on
Ulysses?
35 right now.
Okay, that's right. I've been trying to follow you on my version because the screen is artifacting so bad it's hard for me to make out details.
I think my internet connection is bad for some reason. Like, so this sequence, the background, the mountains are static, but are cut up so that you know that there's passage of time through the panels. But then the foreground that they're walking on isn't seamless. So the foreground is part of the movement of time in the panels. I hope that the way I explain that makes sense. But then the background is static because it's so huge and so far away that they keep moving forward that it doesn't get closer.
Yeah.
That
Those
is
are
such
some
a
gorgeous mountains.
Oh, that's so good.
So if I understand what you're saying, the fact that there's 3 adjacent panels and the scenery is contiguous through them. So if you just took
Yes.
the gutters away, it would be one panoramic picture. But in the
Yes.
foreground, the characters are, yeah, and you can see the footprints in the snow, so you can see them progressing in that direction, but they never seem to get
Yes.
closer because it's such okay.
But the foreground is changing. So that's how it is when you're hiking.
Yes, yeah,
The environment directly around you changes, but the far away vista doesn't.
yeah.
It's, it's so good. It's so good. How did he think of that? It's so good.
It is kind of brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, it just blows my mind. It's not like fancy, splashy, layouts and stuff. This was a good page turn too. Like they have to leave. They finally convince. The whole bit here is Tintin wants to, you know, Captain Haddock thinks that Tintin is crazy to risk his life for this guy who's probably dead. But finally, Tintin, they turn back, and Tintin turns around, and you turn the page, and even though this is the first panel, this is the first thing you see, which is evidence of a scarf up in
Right.
the mountains.
Through binoculars.
So it's like, oh, his Tintin is sad that his buddy, he's got to leave his buddy behind. But then you turn the page and you're like, oh, but wait. And then
But
you
wait.
read the sequence of Tintin, realizing it. So you realize it before Tintin. It's so well done. It's just so good. Captain Haddock blows his head off with the camping stove. He wants to make some porridge. That's another thing. He wants to make porridge, but he says porridge. I don't think that's a French word, right? So I more evidence that Captain Haddock is British coded.
Could be, yeah, because porridge is a British thing.
And what Tintin drinks is cognac, which is a French drink, right?
Yes.
Whiskey.
And
is
poor Captain
not a
Haddock,
French
I mean, it's no wonder he's always grouchy. He's got the worst luck ever.
Yeah, and and Tintin manipulates him here because he says, "I'm turning away. I've had enough. I'm not climbing up this mountain that the local Sherpa, thinks is too dangerous to climb." And Tintin says, like, "Okay, well, why don't you have a little bit of cognac?" And then when he gets him a little bit drunk, he says he's a chicken, and so he uses reverse psychology on him.
Uh-huh.
And this too is just, I remember reading this as a kid, and I just felt like I was on the mountain, with them. And we'd read this communally, you'd have like your little friends over, and you'd be on the
really?
floor for an entire, it'd be a whole afternoon, and you'd be reading it and together.
Good, clean fun.
Oh, it's just I don't have a lot of good memories from growing up because it was a strange, lonely, difficult upbringing.
Yeah.
But of reading Tintin with my friend, his name was Ezekiel, I remember that, and Sebastian. We just had just a great time. There's a whole bit here where they say there's a abominable snowman, but Captain Haddock is skeptical, doesn't believe in it.
Of course not.
They find like a monastery up in the mountains there. They just about bite the dust, but this yak wakes him up. There's also a bit with the dog where the dog, when nobody else can hear him, can speak. So only we can tell what he's saying. Like the characters don't know what he's saying, but the reader can read his speech.
I forgot at the very beginning of this, the Snowy had like an inner monologue. I think it was a thought balloon, but still, it's like he's thinking like a human.
Yeah, but he can speak, but only when, like, we know what he's thinking and saying. Right? See, he says
So
here
it's like
the message.
Toy Story.
See here, there's a whole sequence where he's talking, but there's nobody around, but we know what he's saying, right? In French, his name is Milou. Milou.
Snowy is Milou.
Yeah, Milou.
Oh, and he's got the devil and the angel dogs talking to him, which is like that was a trope on in the Warner Brothers cartoons back from
Mm-hmm.
about the same era.
Being a
Like
dog,
a
the devil won both times.
yeah, devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other.
This is more of that stuff, the wonder of, it's like it's 1946. How many people can go to Tibet? How many people can go to Tibet now?
I know,
It's like
right?
that's one thing. Like now we know how everything looks, right? But there was a time where people didn't know how everything looked,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So they needed books to tell them how a thing looked, right?
right.
And 1946, yeah, photography's around, but how it's not like super widespread, right? And like it's the media isn't like they're not like swimming in a media soup like we are now, where you can just like,
Yeah,
I wonder what such and such looks like, and then 2 seconds later in your friggin' dark mirror oracle, you know what the thing looks like, right?
yeah. I was gonna say you can go on YouTube and see, a vlog of somebody in Bangladesh digging a
Exactly.
house out of mud or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
But
that's
like,
another thing that so appeals to me so much about Tintin is that back when this was made, and it kind of comes through the vibe of that comes through in the story, in the panels, and the artwork. A lot of the world was still unexplored. I mean,
hmm
World War II changed a lot of that because GIs, American GIs got to see parts of the world that they never would have seen otherwise. But the world was kind of still, there were these exotic places that were just full of wonder and waiting to be discovered in an adventure strip like this. I call it a strip, but I know that's the wrong word, but adventure
no,
sequential art.
actually, it's the right word. It's the right word because in French, the comic books they call them bande dessinée, which literally means drawn strips.
Oh, okay.
I mean, actually, there's a whole bit here where the Tibetan monk has a vision about Chang being a prisoner of the Yeti, which they call the Migu, and
Okay.
Tintin decides to go after him. Tintin is his character is all courage,
Right.
Yep, never dissuaded, just will not give up. He's just a courageous, determined little fella with a pretty cool hat.
On the Tibetan guy.
No, on Tintin here, page 55.
55. Okay, I haven't caught up with you. You gotta wonder, do any of his adventures ever tell you where they get their money to do all this traveling?
He's a reporter, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. So you can assume some newspaper is going to pay him to go to these exotic places.
Well, sometimes some of these adventures are actually he's on a journalistic mission. But it just occurred to me now, given the time that this came out, he's a reporter. I wonder if it's like the Belgian answer to Clark Kent. Like, well, we got our own reporter over here, plucky reporter.
Or Jimmy Olsen,
Yeah, something like that, right?
because he's, kind of young.
They do find the Yeti. And he's not happy that the Tintin's there, and Tintin takes a picture of him with the flash bulb, and it freaks out the Yeti, who takes off.
Oh, and he finds Chang at last.
Finds Chang, yeah. Look at this info dump here. Oh boy. But I mean, it would have been it would have made sense. This would have been in an era where, oh, finally the new Tintin volume came out. I've been waiting for this for 8 months. I'm gonna sit in my what do they call it? In my library, in my smoking jacket,
My
right?
study.
And,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
it was just a different time, a time a little bit more relaxed, and that's how I imagine it anyway.
Well, and see, I don't have a problem with this. I mean, info dumps, they're supposed to be a bad thing, but I really don't have a problem with the way they're telling the story here. And you do get plenty of panels where there's like no dialogue, no caption. I think it's just telling the story purely visual, but it's supposed to be a combination of words and pictures. So the one is supposed to complement the other, and I think it does.
Captain Haddock's always getting in trouble. There's like a sacred monk procession here, and Captain Haddock goes and blows in the horn,
You
blows in their big horn.
can't win for losing.
Oh, and then Milu found like a big, huge bone finally, so he gets his reward as well. And then the Yeti looks on as they cavalcade down the mountain. And I remember we used to even look at all this. Right? We just pour over every single thing. Like, we just drink it up.
I did too, yeah, because wasn't very often that I was able to buy a comic or any kind of book. And so the ones that I had, I read them almost till the words fell off.
But they're all
and looked at every little detail.
simple.
And Mad Magazine was good for that. They'd put those little cartoons by Sergio Aragones in the corners and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just full of stuff to obsess over.
They're all very simple, but every single one of them is an interesting design.
Yeah.
And unique and distinct.
You can tell in an instant which character it is.
Yeah.
I think it's the whole point of, what does Scott McCloud call it? Iconographic?
Yeah, yeah. So, this was definitely one of my favorites, and I remember I would read this in the summertime, and I would actually get kind of a cool feeling. It's just like, it reminded you of like the wintertime. And I remember really liking the moon ones. There's 2 moon ones that I really liked. One is like, it's like moon mission, and finally they walk on the moon. I like those 2, but I didn't like the mystery ones so much, like the Jewels of Castafiore.
Really?
Castafiore. It was more like a mystery, like who stole the jewels or something.
Well, I probably would have ate that up.
Probably, yeah. I get the sense that. But, yeah, I remember Black Island, L'Île Noire. I don't remember what it was. It's a Scottish thing. I just remember that it pulled me in. There's one where they go underground in this, like, cool shark submarine.
Uh-huh.
Underwater, I mean. Yeah,
That's another nice thing about Tintin's, like any kind of adventure, he's got a good variety of different types of adventure and different exotic locations.
This was the most psychedelic one. It's a very strange story. Very
Really?
strange. Yeah, it's very weird. It's almost like the story almost doesn't make sense. It's just like almost like he didn't have a plan. just like, we'll just do one thing after another. Like suddenly there's a big earthquake, and he's got to investigate, and he finds out it's these weird mushrooms. It's just weird.
Maybe Erge was consuming some weird mushrooms at the time.
Could be.
Oh,
This one,
Erge.
Cigars of the Pharaoh. Um, it's not as good, I find, because it's only Tintin and Milou, so you don't have the supporting cast there, like kind of
Oh,
adding to the.
you don't have the comedy relief of Captain Haddock.
Well, I feel like Captain Haddock, it like his goes along with Tintin. Like the two together are really good
Yeah,
dynamic.
the
Because
straight
Tintin's more
man
of a
and the,
exactly, yeah, and
yeah,
Tintin's quite courageous and competent, and that Captain Haddock is more bluster and uh, awkwardness, or what they call clumsiness, right?
yeah.
Anyway, that's Tintin in Tibet. Thumbs up from me. This is every once in a while I take it out to the library just as a treat, and but I gotta buy these books.
It's a thumbs up for
That's
me
it
too.
Yeah, that's it for the show. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Once again, please like, subscribe, all that internety stuff.
Follow the
Consider
links to
taking
my
out a
my crowd
Credit
fund.
quotient.
Yeah,
Yep, it's going to be down there. And consider taking out a subscription if you haven't already. It's free. You get a whole bunch of content, especially on Substack. And paid subscription, $2.50 a month. You get. I am putting out a lot of extra stuff now for the paid subscribers, so that they get well rewarded. So thanks for that. Yeah, see you in the next one. God bless.
so long.